Good morning, good morning. This is Coffee with Random Renee. I hope everyone's doing great today. First off, I want to address the little jackleg that likes to come into my comments calling me fat. Let me tell you, I have eyes. I know I'm a big girl, and it's okay. You see, I have accepted who I am due to my disabilities. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not a shanny type disability. I have actual disabilities. And so, therefore, you can take your comments and you can make them all you want, but you're not going to affect me. Okay? So, today, we are going to try and uplift people and not tear them down because that's what good people do. That's what healed people do. Okay? So, with that being said, let's get this party started. Sometimes we find ourselves all alone, and I mean completely alone. People walk away from us for whatever reason, um, and it hurts. But when you are put alone, that's when you have a chance to see and to really see when you decide to look within. It takes a while sometimes to stumble through all the emotions that come with things, the depression, the acceptance, the anxiety, the anger, bitterness, all of this. It takes a while to accept it. It's like being drawn down a rabbit hole. And it's a whirlwind of emotions that we sometimes don't know how to stop ourselves because we always end up with these questions, all the whys. Why? What happened? Sometimes we don't know because it catches us off guard. And you start asking why, what did I do? What did they do? Everything, you're just caught up in all these mental blocks, these mental barriers that are holding you in one place because you don't understand when an emotional whirlwind hits you like this. Then you're left with, after the whys, you're left with, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? Well, let me tell you where you go from here. Let me tell you where to go from here before you completely give up. Okay? You're at the point where you have no choice but to look within. You have to look within. Okay? No other choices but to do this. When you're looking at the mirror within and you're starting to see what is reflecting out of that mirror onto other people, out into the world, then you'll see. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. My eyes are getting blurry. But you'll see what reflects through that mirror. It's not always easy. It's not always easy to see what we're reflecting out into the world. For a lot of us, we're reflecting out trauma, fear, abandonment, so many different emotions, and we don't even know that we are putting that out there. But that's what we are so accustomed to feeling. That's what we are so accustomed to living with. And we don't realize that we're reflecting that out into the world. People can see that on us. They can see our unhappiness. They can see our depression. They can see in our actions what's going on with us. And that drives a lot of people away. And then when we're not seeing what we're reflecting out, that's where the whys come in. Why did they walk away? What do I do now? Is it me? And you start feeling more unworthy because you think that your um, worth is dependent on them or their opinion of you. And that's just not the truth. But once you're forced to look within, you have two choices. You either heal or you stay in the same spot. And healing is not easy. But staying in the same spot only gets worse. When you choose to heal, then you start getting better. Healing is the better choice, because if you choose to get worse, then you are going to give up, and more people are going to give up on you. And when you're healing, you start seeing what you've been reflecting out to others, and you also start seeing what others are reflecting out of their mirrors onto you and onto the world. You start seeing their pain. You start seeing their traumas. You start understanding why people are angry. They're not angry at you, they're angry within. They're angry with the world. They just have anger for some reason through trauma or whatever it is in their heart. They're just angry. And you start seeing that in other people, and it makes you want to start teaching them how to heal and showing them the truth. Our unhealed selves are the same reflection that we see in the reflection of other people in the world. Walking blindly, unhealed, spiritually dead, spiritually broken, um, spiritually unhealthy, full of anger, pride, greed, selfishness, lack of self worth, and many other hindering and deadly forces keeping us bound and blinded. We have conditioned ourselves to believe that's just life. That's just who I am. That's the way God made me. And that's not always true. That is not always true. It's lies. It's lies we tell ourselves. It's lies from the enemy. It's lies from other people projecting. It's lies from the enemy, from the devil himself. Because the devil seeks to destroy you any way possible. Oftentimes, this is where offense comes from within us. Because when people start saying these things, we already see these things reflecting back at us from our own mirror. We already feel this way about ourselves, right? So when someone says something, it automatically gives us a reason to justify the lies that we have been telling ourselves about who we are as people, as a person, and what we have been accustomed to believe about ourselves our entire lives. All the negativity, all the lies. Again, we believe that our worth is determined on other people's ideas of us, and we're not realizing that in our minds that it's all false. It's all lies. It's all lies. Jesus tells us to allow things to roll off our backs, and that's one thing I've really never known how to do. I've seen people do it, but I always said, how can anyone do that? How can they just let stuff go like that? But once we come to Jesus and we start giving it to Him and we allow things to go, we start letting go through Jesus. When the Holy Spirit comes in, there is no offense. Jesus is washing us clean. He is changing us and molding us into His image. And He teaches us not to be offended. He teaches us love for ourselves and for others. God determines our worth, and our worth is in Him. And once you make the decision to heal, then you will start feeling this. You will start seeing this and realizing this. Once you give it all to God and He washes you clean and the light comes through you, then others will be able to see the light in you and not the traumas. You're no longer walking in the darkness. You're no longer believing these bad things about yourself, because you are new. You're being made new. And everything that you were accustomed to before is gone. You feel yourself start healing, but you have to make the decision to heal, and you have to make the decision to take the necessary steps to do so. Isn't it time to be able to see ourselves the way God sees us? He sees us as His children. He sees us as perfect and beautiful through His light and love. He doesn't see the trauma and the pain that we project. I mean, He sees it, but He doesn't determine our worth by that, because He is our Father. And when He sees it and we willingly give it to Him, He steps in to wash it all away and to bring us peace and hope and joy through the Holy Spirit. God has an expected end for us, and it's not of evil, it's of good. So if you haven't given your heart to Jesus today, I pray that you do. If you don't know how, I pray that you ask someone or ask me. We do not have to live in misery. We do not have to live in pain. We do not have to continue to allow others to walk away from us while we sit here in pain with all these questions, wondering why. Start with yourself first. You can't fix someone else. Fix yourself. Fix yourself. I hope this helps someone today, and we will talk again later. God bless.